I've lived in Nova Scotia my whole life, and while I remember wildfires, like the one that tore through this section of the Spryfield area back in 2009, I don't recall a time I've seen so many. I've reported on several already this year, so it got me thinking, are we seeing more? Over the last 5 years, Nova Scotia has averaged about 154 wildfires a year. This year, we're already up to 151. That's according to the Department of Natural Resources, and the season is just getting started. So why the spike? The first factor is abnormally dry conditions across the province. We've had a really dry spring. I spoke with CBC meteorologist Ryan Snodden, and he tells me that in March, some areas of the province only saw half the amount of rain it normally does. April was even drier. In fact, it was the driest April on record at the Halifax airport, only 30 millimeters of rain for the entire month. That's created a breeding ground for wildfires. A DNR rep says spring is when we would normally see flashy fires, ones that are quick moving on the surface and don't bury deep into the ground, because the ground is usually still saturated from winter snow. But what we're already seeing this year are conditions we'd normally expect later in the summer, when the ground is drier and the fires burn deeper. Those fires are more challenging to put out. We're at Mother Nature's mercy with this one. Rain is the only thing that can provide some relief. The second factor, lots of downed trees, branches, and leaves, made worse this year by Hurricane Fiona. It's all fuel for wildfires. They dry out quick and increase the risk of ignition and spread. Dry wood can also make wildfires more intense and more difficult to put out. It's the case for this year, but also for years to come, for as long as it takes that wood to decompose. DNR says it's been mapping where all that damage is, so if a wildfire crops up in the area, they have a plan. The last contributing factor is a big one. It's you. Lightning is really the only natural cause of wildfires, and that only accounts for less than 5% of ignitions. The vast majority are started by human activity. And that might make you think of a discarded cigarette or campfires. It was a campfire that started this fire here back in 2009. But an environmental professor from Dalhousie University told me it's also big picture activities. We're building roads, we're building entire communities, and that creates drier surfaces, so water can't seep into the ground. So how can you help? Check Nova Scotia's burn restrictions. Have water on hand in case a fire escapes. Don't burn on dry and windy days, and make sure you watch a fire until it's completely out. It's also a good idea to become familiar with the province's Fire Smart tips to prepare your home in the case of a wildfire. It's these small steps that could make all the difference. Aly Thomson, CBC News, Ferguson's Cove.